Hello, welcome to Sufra's World. My name is Sufra, and this is my world. And today we're having another episode of Writers Behaving Badly. Now, yes, I know there's actually a big scandal going on right now with some fantasy awards, but I'm not going to talk about that today because I'm still trying to understand the situation since it's not really my genre. Even though I write science fiction and fantasy as well, I know more about the horror community and what goes on there. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Someone posted on the Horror Writers Association wall on Facebook. They were asking a question. And I know I've covered this before, but hey, it's a new day, a new beginning, and we'll talk about this again because we can never talk about this too much. The person was asking, what do you do if you get a bad review for your book? And so, of course, people all chime in with their comments, and all of them are good because we've all had bad reviews. So, I just wanted to make a quick little video about this. First of all, and I'm just going to echo what people said on the thread, but not all of you who watch YouTube videos go to the HWA Facebook page, right? And this is information for any writers, whether you're traditionally published, self-published, something in between. It can even spread out into other art genres, whether you're a painter or a musician or a dancer, anything like that. It's all about expressing ourselves and putting ourselves out there for the public to either enjoy or hate what we've done, right? So, the first thing you have to remember about reviews is that they are subjective. The review isn't going to make or break your career, even if it's in the New York Times or whatever the big place is these days. I don't even know myself anymore who we really need to pay attention to with reviews when it comes to horror because the landscape has shifted so much in the last 10 years. I'm having trouble keeping up with who the players are, who the publishers are, who the critics are, who the reviewers are. So, you go on Amazon and see a one-star review for your book that you worked so hard on. You could have worked on it 10 years or 10 minutes. It's still, you put it out there for people to read and you want them to enjoy it, but not everyone's going to. So, number one rule when you get a crappy review, any review at all, whether you're on Goodreads, which is more interactive, or Amazon, which you can restrain yourself, do not ever answer reviews. And in fact, I would suggest to all the writers, don't even read your own reviews. I very seldom look myself up on Amazon because I don't want to see the one-star things because then it deflates my enthusiasm for what I'm trying to do and then I second guess everything I'm doing. So I don't even look. But I do go and look at other people's 1 and 2 star reviews and this is no secret. I've said it before, especially all my friends, especially people who win awards and stuff because I want to see what their magic is. But I only read the terrible 1 and 2 star reviews because, as people point out, sometimes people are very thoughtful as in not. Pampering your feelings, but thoughtful as in they've thought about this and why that book didn't work for them. And I find even in reading other people's reviews, I can help myself be a better writer because I see where the reader was disappointed in the book. It may have been a structural thing. Maybe the ending didn't work. Maybe the ending felt rushed, which is, of course, probably 80% of reviews because, let's face it, as writers, we often spend more time on the beginnings of books than at the ends. I've kind of, in my own writing, I have now started to work on beginnings and endings with the same amount and then not so much in the middle. We all want to write about everything all the time. But yeah, so what happens a lot with writers is, you get X amount of time before a deadline. So you write and rewrite and you're trying to get the story started, then you finally get it started, and then holy shit, it's due tomorrow, blah, 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 the end, right? And it's obvious. So don't be that person. However, let's go back to reviews. So you can learn a lot by looking at reviews, but never, ever, ever respond to a reviewer ever. Even if it's a 5 star review on Goodreads, don't say thank you. Don't do anything. Just be professional and don't engage. You can read your own reviews, listen and learn, and don't be that person that posts all your reviews on Facebook. I don't like to see that. I think it's weird. And even if you're mocking someone who gave you a one-star review and English isn't their first language, and so you think it's hilarious, it's not. It just looks bad. Although there's one person who has posted some terrible reviews he's gotten for his books, but he's one of the rare exceptions where he can write, he can make a post, say, "Ah, look at this review. You don't want to be this," but he's really funny and quirky, and so he can kind of get away with this kind of thing. And then you go, "Oh, he's so hilarious in his post about his bad review." Then you'll go over and look at the review. The next thing you know, you're looking at his look inside, and then you're buying the book because it's like, this is crazy time. But that's a very rare exception and a very rare writer who has a very good gift of engaging people. But the rest of us, we're too serious, we're too whatever, and just don't. It just looks bad when you're responding to reviews. It looks like you don't have a life, which we don't. Writers don't have lives. We know that. Ooh, it's hot today. Um, but it's unprofessional, and I was guilty of it a lot in my early years as well. This is, I've said before, I do the writers behaving badly videos because I've learned from my own mistake, and I'm passing my wisdom on to you so that you don't do the same stupid things I did or someone else did. Now, the person who's asking the question on the HWA Facebook has done nothing. He's just asking, like, I got a bad review. What do I do? Do I respond? Do I digest it? Do I cry? Do I, you know? So yeah, cry for a while and then get on with your life. Because a review is just one person's opinion, whether it's a review on Amazon or Goodreads, or it's a very long critical review in Rue Morgue or Fangoria or Publishers Weekly, anywhere like this. It doesn't matter. It's one person's opinion. And sometimes, as we just said, sometimes a one-star review can get you more traction than a five-star review because people want to see what was so bad. So don't sweat the reviews. They're just one person's opinion. Don't let it bring you down. Also, don't be stressing out that you don't have any reviews. If you don't have any reviews, send your book out to get reviewed. It's pretty simple. People may or may not do it. Look in your genre, who the players are, and keep a little list of reviewers. If you can afford it, put your work on NetGalley and that sort of thing. There's all sorts of options. You may just send your book to various authors in your genre and ask them if they can blurb it, things like that, right? To help promote, which isn't really a review. It is, but it isn't, right? However, if you're one of those authors getting a book and the book is really bad, don't review it. Just say something nice, because you see a lot of people, if you go and read other people's reviews, Stephen King has blurbed a few books, and some people were really upset that Stephen King blurbed some of these books because the people thought the books were bad, and now they don't trust Stephen King blurb when they see one. And a lot of people don't trust author blurbs on books because they're kind of aware that we're a nepotistic bunch. We all put blurbs on each, but that's part of being a professional. Once you get to a certain level, that you do want people with names on your book cover. However, this can work for or against you. Okay? So, anyways, the bottom line with reviews, whether they're by professionals or by peers or by some disgruntled person who never even read the book but it was formatted wrong, just don't respond. Keep your cool and keep on writing, because the number one thing is you got paid. And this is what I have some really bad reviews on some of my leisure books, but at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? I made a few grand off this book. The editor thought it was good enough to publish. Leisure thought it was good enough to pour money into to publish and promote and market and put in all over the world in Walmart and grocery stores and airports. I've seen my book in airports. So yeah, this one person's one-star review, it's their opinion because the person who bought my book had a better opinion and they thought it was worthwhile. So just remember that if your book is published, especially if it's traditionally published, um, and remember, you got paid for this. And so someone had a lot of faith in your work and they paid you for your work. So just because a couple of people don't like your work doesn't mean the majority doesn't. And also, don't forget, and we can see this on YouTube all the time, people complaining about things all the time, negative reactions always get more attention than positive, right? So you're going to notice your bad reviews more than your positive reviews, and people are more apt to leave a bad review than to leave a good review because people like to complain, right? It's human nature, we all do. So don't worry about your reviews. If you're finding a pattern in your reviews, they all kind of saying the same thing, you might want to take that to heart and work on the next book. I did see another, I know this is going on a while now, but I did see in another Facebook group I'm in, someone who's just keeps rewriting and revising their books and republishing them and changing covers and all this, and they're trying to get some traction. I don't advise that either. Um, I think once your book is done, it's done. You got to get up and go to the next. And yeah, I mean, if your cover's bad and your blurbs are bad, you can tweak those. But as for rewriting the books and republishing them, don't waste your time. Just move on to the next project. Obviously, whatever was happening with that project, maybe you didn't quite have a grip. Maybe you're a new writer and you need to hone your craft a little better, which you will if you just start fresh with a new project and just keep moving on. Okay, move forward. Don't get caught up in reviews of past books that are already done because you're already working on your next books and stories. So don't let that stuff that's already out there clutter up your brain and your imagination when you're trying to push out even better and more wonderful work. But like I said, sometimes reviews can give us an idea of what works and doesn't work for various readers. And so you want to pay attention to that. But otherwise, don't even bother reading your own reviews. Just don't do it. Save yourself the stress, whether they're good reviews or bad reviews. Because also, too, if you have like a million five-star reviews, but they're all your friends, that means nothing as well, right? So, and if you get five-star reviews from total strangers, excellent, and use that to give yourself momentum to work even harder and better on your next project. Okay, so I hope this was helpful to you. So don't sweat those reviews, just keep on writing and be proud that you had something for someone to review, because that meant you finished your book and you got it out in the world, and total strangers are reading it, and that's what we all aspire to have. Okay, have a great day, and we'll see you next time at Writers Behaving Badly.